back to Fenway Park for part 2 of our live stream. If you don't know me, my name is Lily McIntyre, and I'm Wasabi's digital content specialist. And I'm excited to be joined here by Detective Craig Johnson. How's it going?
Not too bad, Lily. Thank you.
Of course. And NESN's Tom Caron. How are you?
Doing well, Lily. Thanks.
Amazing. So we are using halftime of the Wasabi Fenway Bowl to bring some attention to some of the tragic events that unfolded recently in Lewiston, Maine. In this live stream, we'll be talking to NESN's Tom Caron and Detective Craig Johnson, who are both from Lewiston and have been directly affected by the mass shooting. Our intention is to not only hear their stories, but also to honor the lives that have been profoundly changed by this event. Let's come together in support and solidarity as we listen, learn, and stand by those who are enduring this unimaginable loss. So my first question is for Craig. What does it mean to these first responders to be honored here at Fenway Park today?
Boy, it's humbling, incredibly humbling. It's been quite an experience for us. You know, the men and women that I came down here with, we're not used to the fanfare. We're not used to the spotlight being on us. But to be out there for the flag drop, to be out there for the presenting of the colors out on the field in America's most loved ballpark, just been absolutely an incredible experience, and so much. It means so much to all of us. We appreciate you inviting us here.
Yeah, thank you for coming out. So again, this is Detective Craig Johnson, and I just want to reintroduce Tom Caron, who is a total big shot on NESN, does a ton of Red Sox coverage, and he's also a big friend of Wasabi. So, Tom, as a Lewiston native, how did the mass shooting in your hometown affect you?
Well, I think, and you know, Craig and his group see a lot more of things that most of us don't have to see. They keep us from seeing it, right? And when things like this happen, they come on your TV screen, and you know, you always feel like you're watching it from afar. And then for it to happen in your town, to people you know, and the first thing I thought of in the days that followed was, you know, your hearts are with the victims and their families, and the incredible loss that community was enduring. But then with the first responders, because the men and women who were the first on the scene, the men and women who were there to follow up with the manhunt and the things that followed, they would see things that we cannot even imagine seeing. And so how do you help? You know, and right away Wasabi reached out to me and said, what can we do for Lewiston? And we knew the game was coming up, and we said, you know, what if we just got everybody on a bus and gave them a day where they could just warm themselves in the sunshine and sit out and watch a game. So that part didn't come together, okay? But as Craig said, I think, you know, when you watch everybody down on the field taking pictures after the flag drop and just creating memories that hopefully they'll be able to take and remember this good day.
Definitely. I mean, we were talking with a couple people from the honor roll, the Fenway Bowl honor roll before, and they were just talking about how people in their school and beyond coming to this game and being able to really, you know, create the sense of community and camaraderie, especially, you know, after something as horrific as Lewiston after, I think is really important and really special. So for Craig, my next question for you is, how has the Lewiston Auburn community come together in the wake of the mass shooting?
Well, you can imagine the night of the shooting, we were all in shock. We were in shock for the days that followed as well. We really didn't know what everyday life was going to look like going forward.
Yeah.
It really wasn't until the vigil, actually, which Tom led over at the Basilica in Lewiston, that we started to come together and find some hope that things might return to normal someday. From there, we had outside agencies reaching out to us. We had folks putting together things just like here today. And they were sending a message to us, and that message was that we weren't alone. And, you know, it was received very well. We appreciate it.
Yeah, so passing it over to you, besides the vigil, did you see any other ways that people came together and other people to come together and help the Lewiston Auburn community?
You know, what I think we've learned is when you experience the worst of humanity, the best in people come out afterwards. And yeah, I'm wearing a Lewiston Strong hat, and there's a lot of those here today. And you know, someone I graduated with from Lewiston High School, Mark Roderick, owns the company that made the hats. They've raised almost $200,000 for the fund. You know, the Celtics and Red Sox and Bruins. You know, the Red Sox reached out to me. Alex Cora texted me that night. It was one of the first texts I got. He's like, anything you need, we're here for you. And the team reached out the next morning, said, we want to make a donation. Where does it go? Help us find the right fund. Because 10 years ago, we went through the Boston Marathon bombing, and it's ridiculous to even consider that there are scams and scam funds that pop up after that. So just, you know, the outpouring of support and people just asking, what can I do to help? And, you know, I said to the group today, long after CNN packs up its cameras and goes away, right, the healing continues, right? You're in the public eye for 2 weeks, and then the news cycle moves on. And things like this, I think, continue to show the support. I think that's important.
Yeah.
And just to follow up on that, we have a hockey charity game coming up to support the victims of the shootings, obviously. We reached out to the Red Sox as well, and they were in the same mindset. They said, what can we do to help? And they're sending all kinds of donations of items that we can raffle off at that event. So they're really putting their money where their mouth is, and they're following through their promises.
Good. I think what you said before really rings true. After the worst can happen, some of the best of humanity comes through afterwards. I think that's a really beautiful way to look at it. So Craig, as part of the Youth and Family Services unit, what effects have you seen on Lewiston families over the last 2 months?
Well, I'd say when it comes to the youth, it probably wouldn't shock you to learn that most of the major incidents that we're seeing, or the children, the effect on the children, is within the schools.
Yeah.
You were talking about these children. If you think back to your school life, day-to-day life in school is pretty difficult as it is. Add on to that the pandemic that they just went through, the return to school, and now this. So the kids, they were hit very hard, and we saw that affect them in their studies and their return to school after the incident happened. But luckily, we have great staff there, everything from the educators all the way up to our superintendent. They really put the needs of the children first. Time will tell what the lasting effect is going to be from this, but I definitely know that they are looking out for the kids first and foremost.
That's wonderful. It's really wonderful to hear. My mom, growing up, worked in Youth and Family Services in the town that I grew up in Connecticut, and they just did some amazing work. So I have no doubt that you guys are doing the exact same. So kudos to you. Tom, how did today come together? I guess thinking of, all the people from Lewiston who showed up and showed out today, what has today been like for you through that lens?
Yeah, it's like I said, when Janice Smith from Wasabi reached out and said, is there a way we can do something? And that was it. Like, it wasn't any idea. And then I reached out to some people up with the city in Lewiston and said, what could we do? And they said, what about something for first responders? Travis Fecto, Craig came together and sort of became our liaisons there. And, I didn't know. I mean, we get a couple carloads of people, that'd be great. And all of a sudden there's 2 bus loads rolling down I-95 this morning to get here for the game. And just great to see that, little acts of kindness can still go a long way, And listen, I work here at Fenway Park, right? And during the summer, we were laughing on the field before. It's the first time you'd ever been on the field at Fenway, right?
Yeah.
You'd be amazed how many Christmas card pictures I've taken over the years from friends who've had their families here at Fenway. Get a picture here, get a picture here.
Yep.
But, this is a special place. It's a magical place. And if you can come here for a day and make a memory, it's something you'll have with you for a long time to come.
Yeah. I remember the first time I came here, and I was like, coming as to the game as when I was a little girl, and now being here working with Wasabi and getting to spend so much time here and meeting people like you guys, it really is a place that just brings people together. So I'm really glad that Wasabi and Fenway and everyone involved is putting that to good use with Lewiston.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So Craig, being recognized by the Red Sox and Wasabi is the latest in a long line of examples of local and national groups showing support for the people of Lewiston. What has that support meant to you and the community?
Oh, boy. So everything from the letters that were written and the baked goods that were dropped off at the station, all the way up to the presidential visit with the First Lady and the President of the United States stopped by the city of Lewiston and gave their condolences. It matters. It all matters to us. Obviously you experience something like that, you go through it, it's a tragedy. Our first responders were in the door within minutes of the shooting happening. They saw things that human beings just aren't supposed to see. And for them, it's a healing process. And you're all part of this healing process. I mean, the folks here at Wasabi and Fenway really rolled out the red carpet for us today. And it's just been an incredible experience for all of us and part of that healing process I talked about.
Amazing.
Thank you.
So my last question, I guess, is for both of you. How can people continue to help?
Well, the easiest way is if you can donate, make a donation. It's the Lewiston Auburn Recovery Fund being offered through MCF, the Maine Charitable Foundation. You can find the website. It's the official fund, and that money will be needed. But I'll say more than that. Just keep the people of Lewiston in your hearts. As I've said a few times along the way, we've seen this happen in other cities, and we remember those cities by the violence, right? You think, oh, that town. And I won't name names because I don't want those towns to be known as that. And suddenly it's your town. And I don't even want Lewiston to be known as the place where there was a mass shooting. I want it to be known for people like Craig and people who are here today. They're the great people from Lewis and Auburn. I've never been more proud to be a kid from Lewiston. Not such a kid anymore. But it's a special place with special people. Go visit. Go spend some money there. Help the economy. There's a lot of ways you can help. But just think of Lewiston for the great people who live there, not for one bad, horrible act of violence.
Yes, I think that's perfectly said.
I agree with that. Keep the letters coming. We read them. We read them all. Baked goods especially. Let's emphasize those. Plenty of those being dropped off. We do taste all of those too. But yeah, just the support. Keep us in your thoughts. Keep us in your prayers.
Fantastic. Yes. Well, I'm so sorry that we even have to have this conversation right now, but I'm really glad that we could all come together and, enjoy the day today in the wake of such tragedies. So I just wanted to thank both of you for coming out and chatting with me today, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the Fenway Bowl.
We will. Thank you and Wasabi for everything.
All right.
It's been a great day.
Thank you. Take care, everyone.